All right, hi everyone. My name is Parinaz, and I will be presenting about 3D printed gastrointestinal stents. So many of you have probably heard about 3D printing, but for those who are not familiar with exactly how it works, basically you have a polymer or plastic 3D printing filament, which your 3D printer heats it up, then it extrudes it into thin strips side by side and layer by layer until you get your 3D object. Now, people have been using 3D printing for all kinds of crazy things, but I'm especially interested in using it for personalized medicine. And one example of a way that we can do that is for the treatment of gastrointestinal tract perforations and obstructions. Basically, what can happen is that sometimes your intestine will get some kind of an obstruction, or it will get a kind of hole in it. Now, when this happens, what's in the intestine can actually fall out into the body, and as you can imagine, that's really not ideal in any way, and that can lead to infections and even to death. So when this happens, surgeons actually have to go in and take that part of the small intestine that has the hole or the obstruction, they remove it, and then they reattach the two good parts of the intestine. Now, the issue is, even at that interface where they are reattaching the intestines to each other, that can also allow for some leakage. So we are looking to solve that problem using 3D printed stents. And to do that, I am interested in taking biodegradable polymers, which can degrade inside the body, and form the 3D printing filament with those polymers. At the same time, we can use CAT scans or CT images of the patient to determine the exact size of the stent that is needed for each patient. Then we take that information, we put it into a 3D printer, and we can obtain customized biodegradable stents. So the idea is that when the surgeon goes in and removes that part of the intestine that has the problem, before they reattach the two remaining parts of the intestine, they can place the stent within the intestine. That stent will allow the intestine to heal over time, and the stent will also degrade so that people don't have to have multiple surgeries. So you can see that we were actually able to do this, and we took our polymer composite that we had made and we formed a 3D printing filament, and we were able to 3D print these stents. We were also able to show this ex vivo in intestines that we took from pigs, and also even in vivo in live pigs. So what we actually found was that when we put our stents inside the intestine, even if we left a big gaping hole in the intestine, the stent still did not allow leakage to occur. So if you injected liquid from one end of the intestine, the liquid would come out from the other end without anything leaking out into the body. So this is pretty promising, and I think actually in the future we will see a lot more things like this, where you can have 3D printing to develop personalized medicine for people, and I think that this will become very common in the future. Thank you.